Hello and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Alfonso Peluso and I'm an associate teaching professor in the College of Architecture at IIT, the home of the legendary Mies van der Rohe, and I'm adjunct faculty at Columbia College Chicago in the Interior Architecture program. Shout out to all my students. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to look at LoRAs. Okay, so you see this image here. What's a LoRA? If you've used AI before, especially Stable Diffusion, you know you have to load in model checkpoints, and those model checkpoints have a certain style to them, a certain look to them. And for architecture, we use these architecture checkpoints. But we can add on to that with a LoRA, and a LoRA fine-tunes the checkpoint. So in this case, I'm looking at a LoRA that was trained with marker sketches. So this image has a feeling that it was done with markers. So we're going to dive into LoRAs. All right, before we dive into it, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Click on subscribe. Click on the bell to receive all the notifications. There is something here for everyone. There's AI, there's real-time rendering, there's parametric modeling, there's digital fabrication. Something here for everyone. Help me get to 14,000 subscribers. That's going to be a great milestone. Also, connect with me on Instagram at my first name Alfonso _ my last name Peluso. I recently hit 10,000 followers, so that was a great milestone. I've been putting out a lot of videos to help architecture students along on their journey, and I've been getting some really great feedback, so don't miss out on any of those. All right, back to ComfyUi and LoRAs. LoRA stands for Low Rank Adaptation. LoRA is a popular and lightweight training technique that significantly reduces the number of trainable parameters. It works by inserting a smaller number of new weights into the model, and only these are trained. This makes LoRA much faster, or training with LoRA much faster, more memory efficient, and produces smaller model weights, and that's from Hugging Face. So LoRAs were invented in 2021 by researchers from Microsoft, so they haven't been around a long time, but they're used to fine-tune an existing model. So when you train a LoRA, which I'll have a video soon about training LoRAs, you don't have to train them on so many images. The data set is not millions or billions of images. It's actually quite small, maybe 25 to 50 images. It can be trained on this small tagged data set, which is called supervised learning. All right, so it's a quick, efficient, fast way to fine-tune your checkpoint model to do something specific, like maybe make marker renderings or make illustrative renderings, which we'll look at today. All right. All right, so here I am in ComfyUi, and I am just going to clear the workflow, and I'm going to load in the default, load default. Okay, so this is what you typically have when you first open up ComfyUi, and I'm going to change a few things. So the first thing I'm going to change is the model. So I'm using Architecture Real Mix. You can get that from Civet AI. I find this to be a pretty good checkpoint model, especially for steel and glass skyscrapers. So it does really well with steel and glass skyscrapers. So I'm going to go ahead and load that Architecture Real Mix in, and I'm not going to have any negative prompts. And for my positive prompt, I have one prepared that I'm going to Control-C and paste that into my positive prompt. An eye-level view of a skyscraper in the parametric style located in Chicago with mist and fog in the atmosphere. Skyscraper is made of glass and steel. Park in the foreground. Greenery from park is growing up the building. Crowds of people. Ethereal heaven-like light, ambient occlusion, and soft shadows. So that's the prompt. So we have our Architecture Real Mix. I want to set a couple of other things. I want to set the amount of steps to 30. I want to set the sampler to DPMPP _2M, and I want to set the schedule to Keras. Okay, so let's see what we get. Let's go ahead and cue that prompt. Now, the first time you cue that prompt, it's going to sit for a while in the load checkpoint. I've already loaded this checkpoint in before, so it's not sitting very long. Okay, so here's my first image. I'm going to get out a node here, which is preview image. And I'm going to plug this in. And I'm going to make this bigger. Let's go ahead and cue the prompt so that we can see that in the preview image. Okay, and I can make this bigger. All right, so that's what our architecture real mix looks like. It's very desaturated, which I like, and it's good for, like I said, glass and steel skyscrapers. So we're going to go ahead and fine tune this with a couple of LoRAs. So if you go to Civet AI and you search architecture LoRA, you're going to find a bunch of LoRAs. And these LoRAs have to go in your ComfyUi Models LoRA folder. So I have one here. So if I go to ComfyUI and I go down to Models, I have LoRAs. So these are where your LoRAs go. So you have to make sure that they go into that folder. Okay, so I'm going to bring out a node, a LoRA node, so load LoRA. And right now it's set to illustrate. I'm going to turn it into markers. Okay, so it has a model and a clip. And we can get that from our checkpoint. So I can plug in the model and the clip. And then it has a model and a clip going out. So the clip I can plug into the positive and the negative. And then the model, I'm just going to replace where this load checkpoint. So this load checkpoint is going all the way up into here, into the K sampler model. So I'm going to plug this into that instead. And just to kind of see this a little bit better, I'm going to use my control key to drag and select, and then use my shift key to move these over. And then I'm going to move the LoRA in between so we can kind of see what's happening. The VAE decoder, that goes into VAE decoder over here. The load LoRA doesn't have a VAE decoder. All right, so there is a strength for this model, for this marker, or for this LoRA basically. And you can go anywhere from 0 to whatever you want to go to. So if I go really high, let's say 5, then that's going to really be have a big impact on the LoRA, and it's probably going to be maybe non-recognizable, maybe too much marker in that one. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, so we see the influence. I really wanted to show the influence of the LoRA. So we got a really big influence of that LoRA. So let's put it back to 1, and let's see what we're going to get. Okay, not too much influence, so we can go a little higher than 1. Let's try 2. And I found that these weights are different for each LoRA, like the weights respond differently. So some LoRAs might work well with 2, some might work well with 4, and there we see the marker effect really taking effect. All right, let's change it to a different LoRA just to see a different LoRA. Let's go to illustrate. This is similar to marker in a sense. That is set to 2 right now. Let's go ahead and cue our prompt. All right, so it's where the checkpoint was very desaturated and the marker was very desaturated. The illustrate is very saturated, and I think at 2 it's a little too strong. So maybe that works better at 1 or even less. Let's go ahead and cue that. There we go. All right, that is all about LoRA. It's very simple, very easy technique, very easy to implement. So I hope you have fun implementing LoRAs into your workflow. All right, if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments why you liked it. Let me know how your LoRA usage is going. My head's going to pop up in the upper left. Click on that to subscribe. I'm going to put 2 more videos in the upper right and the lower right. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.